Hello friends, I'm Nisha Sharma. The topic under discussion today is a critical appreciation of the ancient mariner by Coleridge. This is a question which covers all the questions that can be asked on Coleridge's ancient mariner. Among the great points of Coleridge, Rime of the Ancient Mariner is the only complete one. It has different origins and sources, yet it is a poem of pure imagination, as Coleridge called it himself. The plan of the Ancient Mariner can be traced in the plan of the lyrical ballads, the study of which is great help to understand the plan of the Ancient Mariner, which is briefly as follows. Lyrical Ballads, published in 1798, is a joint venture of Wordsworth and Coleridge, which is a key to understand all the poetry of the Romantic age, including that of Coleridge. This joint adventure was taken by Wordsworth and Coleridge to find out a balance between the two extremes, the tendency to realism and the tendency to romance in their extreme forms. These two poets felt that English poetry needed first that romance should be shaped and ennobled by the presence and the power of truth, moral and psychological, and secondly, that naturalism or realism, without losing any of its fidelity to fact, should be shaped and ennobled by the presence and power of imagination, the light that never was on sea or land. In this respect, both the poets agreed to present two different kinds of poems. Coleridge chose such series of poems in which the incidents and events were to be in part at supernatural and the end excellence aimed at was to consist in the interest of affection by the dramatic truth of such emotions as would naturally accompany such situations, supposing them real. For the second kinds of poem that were mainly to be presented by Wordsworth were such poems in which the subjects were to be chosen from ordinary life. The characters and incidents were to be such as will be found in every village, where there is a meditative and feeling mind to seek after them or to notice them when they present themselves. In this idea originated the plan of the lyrical ballads. In this plan, it was agreed that Coleridge's endeavor should be directed to persons and characters, supernatural or at least romantic. However, such supernatural elements should not be void of human interest and inward nature of man. It must contain the semblance of truth sufficient to procure of these shadows imagination, that willing suspension of disbelief for the moment which constitutes poetic faith. Wordsworth, on the other hand, was to propose to himself as his object to give charm of novelty to things of everyday and to excite a feeling similar to the supernatural and directing it to the loveliness and the wonders of the world before us. In the light of the above plan of both the poets and in the light of Coleridge's poetry itself, we find the following chief characteristics in the Ancient Mariner which make the poem a representative poem of Coleridge's poetry. The Ancient Mariner has the following distinct elements: a variety of supernatural events, realistic descriptions of nature that helps in winning the reader's faith, graceful introduction of the supernatural elements, element of mystery and mysteriousness, subtle depiction of the supernatural elements, dreamlike quality, the use of imaginative realism, human interest in the poem, suggestiveness, and the moral theme. Now we can study all these things or all these topics one by one. And first is the supernaturalism. Supernaturalism is something that is above and beyond what is natural. Events which cannot be directly explained by known laws and observations. Exploration, supernatural or magic, and of God, mysticism, numerology are some other manifestations of the intense desire of men to know what exists or lies beyond the finite mind. Imaginative and inventive fiction and poetry have been created upon this appeal. This element of supernaturalism is found in the three major works of Coleridge, Rime of the Ancient Mariner, Kubla Khan, and Christabel. The outstanding quality of Coleridge's supernaturalism, however, is that his writings do not excite one's senses to a feverish pitch and do not remain remote from human reality. He is capable of creating the still, sad music of humanity. In his supernaturalism, we do not find any kind of crudeness. He replaced the crudeness with suggestiveness. He did not portray horror, he just makes a suggestion and leaves it to the imagination of the reader. Coleridge has successfully kept the reality of supernatural phenomena by avoiding the descriptions of details. He deepens his effect by mystery surrounding it. Along with this, Coleridge's supernaturalism has essentially psychological truth in it. The supernatural touches in Kubla Khan or the ancient mariner are so managed that they are in perfect harmony with the mental and emotional molds of the characters as well as the readers. The supernatural drama of the ancient mariner catches hold of the reader's subconscious mind. This is, however, noteworthy that Coleridge, like Homer and Shakespeare, makes the element of supernaturalism part of a wider scheme, which is intimately related to living human experience. The central idea of the need of human love and compassion with men, bird and beast, and the entire creation of God, and the painful experience caused by their absence is so intensely human that even the supernatural character of events cannot be clouded its truthfulness. The supernatural element has, along with it, the elementary element of mystery and mysteriousness. Now we come to the element of mystery. Mysteriousness is that condition in which some character, event, or situation remains hidden and is not revealed to the usual vision or common understanding. It is not completely known, but makes its presence feel to the people. Coleridge possesses an unusual gift of evoking the mystery of things. The ancient mariner is made a mysterious character just by the mention of the glittering eyes, long grey beard, and skinny hands. Geraldine's sudden appearance in Christabel is an unexpected circumstance, makes her mysterious. Her being beautiful exceedingly makes her mysterious, but Coleridge uses this faculty most effectively by keeping alive the ordinary natural phenomena intact. Fertile and rich imagination. Imagination is a mental faculty of framing images of external objects which are not present to the five senses. Coleridge is gifted with the most fertile and vigorous imagination among all the romantic poets. It is by this rich and fertile imagination that he is able to create his perplexing mystery. In this respect, he goes ahead of Wordsworth, who was too conscientious to describe or present those things that were not seen personally by him. Coleridge, on the other hand, was able to describe and present those things which he came across during his vast study through his faculty of imagination. He had the faculty of presenting such unseen and inexperienced things so vividly as if those had been literally present before his eyes. According to the great Greek critic Longinus, a great writer is that one who has the capability of transporting the reader to his own imaginative world. Coleridge, no doubt, was bestowed with this quality. Not only this, he had the rare skill to create an imaginary world, changed it into imaginative, and then transformed it to a make believe condition. The world created by Coleridge in his whole poem of the Rime of the Ancient Mariner is the best example of this faculty of Coleridge. Next is dream quality. Dream quality is a quality of imagining while asleep. It is a process of or a sequence of images that appear involuntarily to the mind of a sleeping person, often a mixture of real and imaginary characters, places, and events. The major poems of Coleridge have a strange dream-like atmosphere about them. Dreams with him are no shadows. They are the very substance of his life. He fed on his dreams and vitalized him in his poems. The ancient mariner displays a dreamlike movement. The dramatic texture of Coleridge's poems gives them a kind of twilight vagueness, intensifying their mystery. Next important quality of the poem is the medievalism. Medievalism means devotion to the Middle Ages, a devotion to the spirit of beliefs of the Middle Ages. Coleridge's love for supernatural led him to the exploration of Middle Ages. He was fascinated by the romance and legends associated with them. The ancient mariner, Christabel, and Kubla Khan are all wrought with the glamours of Middle Ages. But it should be kept in mind that medievalism does not form the substance of his poems. It gives them the much needed sense of remoteness and offers a fit setting for the marvelous, which is Coleridge's purpose to hint at or openly display. Now, love of nature. Nature means a physical world including all natural phenomena and living things. It also means a force that is represented before man in the form of beautiful scenes. Wordsworth is stated to be communicating new order of experience for which nature serves as a point of departure, and there was not such an experience in English poetry before his time. Coleridge shows for nature the same loving devotion as we find in Wordsworth. But Bora rightly points out that his eye for nature is for its more charms and less obvious appeals, and he takes richer and more luxurious pleasure in those aspects of nature that can present a dramatic and mysterious look. Whether his descriptions are based on his personal experience or on what he has read, he never fails to give them a semblance of truth. He can evoke the richness of color as well as the magical associations of sound much better than any other poet. And he is equally successful both in giving graphic description and in achieving broad generalized effects. Meditative note. Meditative thinking is the result of reflective and speculative temper. It is a philosophic bent of mind. Coleridge was amply gifted with this quality. This tendency of mind was present even in his early age, which made him to do serious reading. The verses in the rhyme of the ancient mariner, which also hint at the theme of the poem, clearly reflect his meditative mind when he says, he prayed well who loved well, both man and bird and beast. He prayed best who loved best, all things, both great and small. For the dear God who loved us, he made and loved all. Humanitarianism. Humanitarianism means the love of humanity and commitment to improving the lives of others. We find humanitarianism in Coleridge's poetry. Both he and Wordsworth strongly supported the French Revolution in the hope that it would free the masses from the tyranny of the dictators, but they were miserably disappointed in their hope. The above quoted lines also expresses, or we can say also gives an expression to his feeling of, to his quality of humanitarianism in his poems. Music. Music is the art of arranging sounds, the art of arranging or making sound, usually those of musical instruments or voices, in groups and patterns that create a pleasing or stimulating effect. It can be presented in the written form, indicating pitch, duration, rhythm, and tone of notes to be played. Coleridge is always a singer, says H.D. Tree. Coleridge's musical genius can best be seen in such poems as The Ancient Mariner, Christabel, Kubla Khan, and Youth and Ace. The Ancient Mariner has woven cunning sound patterns with the help of internal rhyme of clever use of alliteration. The ice was here, the ice was there, the ice was all around. It cracked and growled and roared and howled like noises in the swamp. The internal rhyme and alliterative effect in the following lines is noteworthy. The fair breeze blew, the fight foam flew, the furrow followed free. We were the first that ever burst into that silent sea. And the last point is narrative skill. Narrative skill is the art of telling a story or giving an account of a sequence of events in the order in which they happen. Coleridge is superb in the art of storytelling. He knows how to create suspense or to evoke interest in the narrative. In the ancient mariner, he invests the mariner with a hypnotic power in order to raise our curiosity in his story. And he introduces his events very dramatically by bringing the spectership gradually closer to view. A hush of expectancy is created before death, and life and death are dramatically brought on the scene to determine the fate of the mariner. The dropping down of his 200 sailor companions one by one after the killing of Albatross, and their swords going out, making a whiz sound of the crossbow, produces a very dramatic effect. The wedding guest interruptions are used to highlight the climatic moments. All these devices give the poem an incomparable narrative beauty. Thus, the above are the characteristics that distinguish Coleridge from other romantic poets and make the ancient mariner the most complete representative of Coleridge's poet. Thank you.